Our first keynote of the afternoon is Jason Goldberg, founder and CEO of Peppo, the fastest growing D-app in the world. Jason previously founded several successful startups over the past 20 years and will now present on how to design crypto user experiences for humans. Please welcome Jason.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. So today we're going to talk about how to design crypto user experiences for humans, to actually get real users to use our products, how to actually show that all this blockchain stuff has utility and purpose in the world. I've been designing products for 20 years. My first product that I worked on way back when was AOL chat rooms, so I know a lot about community. I've worked in several startups and even had a unicorn company. For the last 4 years, I've been focused on this problem. How do you actually enable crypto and blockchain to build meaningful uses for real people? So how do we do that? Well, this might seem kind of obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people forget it. That if you want to build a successful product, a product that actually resonates with users, the key thing is to start with the problem, not with the solution. Now, what does that mean? What it means is you have to actually find out an actual use case, an actual real need that you're solving when it comes to building your product. You can't just say, well, blockchain is this game-changing technology, and we're going to throw it out in the world and hope that people use it. They won't. What you have to do is you have to start with the problem and try to build a solution to people's needs. And so how do you do that? Well, the process that we've gone through over the last couple of years is by literally talking to people. We said this technology is a game-changing technology. It's going to change so many facets of our lives and society, but only if we figure out how to make it work to solve real needs for real problems for real people. So we spent the last couple of years while building technology talking to people and trying to figure out what is it that they want, what do they need, what is it that cryptocurrency and decentralized networks, what is it that those technologies can actually do to solve problems. What's amazing as you talk to people, especially in the crypto community, is we learned a lot. I mean, we actually found that there's a lot of really interesting things going on in crypto. The biggest thing that we learned is that this movement that we're in, there's this galvanizing force that all of us feel like we're part of something really big, that the crypto movement is a movement. And that there's tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, and soon millions of people who are becoming part of the crypto community, and they believe that we're in this not just to make a buck, but we're in this about making the world a better place. There's one thing we hear again and again from people in the crypto community, is that we're all here to make the world a better place, create a better society. The other thing we hear is that crypto is made up of so many hardworking, dedicated builders. You see them outside this hall in terms of people who are working on projects and developing on the blockchain and trying to show that there's actual utility and use cases for this groundbreaking technology. The other thing that we find is that this space is incredibly collaborative. There's some industries where you find that everyone is competing against each other. In crypto, what we find by talking to people is there's this pervasive mentality in the sense of we're all in this together and that a rising tide lifts all boats. This picture here is from ETH Berlin over the summer. And what we saw there, and we saw all these hackathons and all these conferences over the last few months, is a community that's coming together and helping each other. We see people building on each other's technologies. I was at ETH Waterloo just this past weekend in Canada. And the best projects took a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this and brought it together. And it got assistance from mentors who are kind of experts in the space, and then figure out how to build a really useful solution. So it's one of the great things that we're seeing about this space is just the openness and collaboration amongst the community and the developers. Now, when talking to people, we learned about all sorts of great stuff, but we also heard about a lot of problems and pain points that we need to address in this community. So one of the things that we heard is that it's really, really noisy. You take a couple years of people shilling tokens and trying to make money from cryptocurrency markets. You get a lot of projects out there. It's questionable, are they ever going to do something or not? And for most people, one of the biggest pain points we hear is how do you actually find out what to pay attention to? It's so noisy. In fact, sometimes it can really seem like a circus out there. And it can actually seem like there's a whole abundance of nonsense. And how does the average person figure out what they should be paying attention to? Or how does someone who actually is passionate about learning about crypto and blockchain figure out who they should pay attention to? And if you're building something, you're one of those builders and collaborators in the space, one thing we hear over and over again is, how do I break through? And how do I kind of, in an authentic way, get my project updates in front of the right people and connect to the people who can help me, collaborate with me, and grow the project? We also heard that there's an abundance of skepticism. There's skepticism from many people from all parts of the industry and outside our industry as to, will this blockchain stuff ever amount to anything? Where are the use cases? And then we also hear a lot of fear. We hear a lot of fear that maybe it's going to take longer. We hear a lot of fear from incumbents that their business models might get disrupted if this blockchain stuff really takes hold. We hear a lot of fear from governments, from institutions, as to what's going to happen if things that people have spent hundreds of years building the norms of society, of the way things work, especially with money and financial institutions and markets. What if this blockchain and cryptocurrency upends all of that? And then we also heard that often it could really feel like we're all just shouting at each other. If you go on crypto Twitter, which is the primary place where most folks in crypto communicate today, we hear that there's a lot of noise, and we hear that a lot of times it's this maximalist fighting with that maximalist, instead of all of us banding together and working together to lift the space and show real use cases together. And then the last thing that we heard is that that amongst the people in crypto who are really working hard, people who are coming to these conferences, people who are tuning into this live stream, we all crave authenticity. We want to actually meet the people behind the crypto community, to get to know each other, to collaborate with each other, to make real, meaningful connections, to have better ways that we can share and collaborate, and to show appreciation to each other. Because one thing that I've seen over the last 6 months, going to hackathons, DevCon, events all around the world, is that the spirit of this community today is actually stronger than it's ever been before. And the fuel for that is the makers, it's the developers. This picture here is at ETH DevCon just a couple months ago. And I got to say, the spirit at ETH DevCon this year, DevCon 5, was such a strong spirit of collaboration in the sense that community coming together is crypto's biggest asset right now. And that by doing this together, we actually can build really meaningful, long-lasting projects. We're all coming out of this crypto winter, where I think we all learned a lot of lessons. And one of the things that we learned is that community is crypto's killer app. And what we're seeing at all these hackathons, at these events, is that there's a lot of things that are about to blossom here. Coming out of this crypto winter, that spring is just around the corner. That we are seeing that next year, there's a whole lot of really interesting projects that are launching with a lot of real use cases. And while it might feel sometimes that we're kind of rolling the ball uphill and that no one understands what we're doing and it's really noisy, we're about to get there. That there's a lot of things really interesting launching, a lot of really interesting use cases. So designing crypto user experiences for humans, designing any product for humans, is all about understanding these pain points, understanding these passions, understanding these use cases, and turning that into wow products. What is a wow product? A wow product is when someone opens the packaging, opens the box, takes something out, tries it on, maybe they put it in their ear or they talk to the device, and there's that moment of, wow, this thing just works, or it solves a problem. Or it's you open up an app for the first time on your phone and you say, wow, this is something I haven't seen before, or this is useful, or this really solves a need. Well, today I want to show you, introducing for the first time here in Asia, a new app, Pepo, that we built. It's the first dApp that feels like an app. It's the first dApp that has crypto, embedded crypto microtransactions live in the App Store, in the Apple App Store, in the Google Play Store, with top-up buying tokens as well as cash out. And we're going to do a little workshop here together. This can be interactive. I want everyone to take out your phone and download Pepo, because you can. It is the first app that is in the App Store with embedded crypto microtransactions. I want you to take a second to go to either Google Play or to the Apple App Store. It's called Pepo, P-E-P-O, by OST. You don't need to do anything special to download it. And I want to show you these wow moments. These wow moments is when you first download the app, and within 30 seconds, you're in the app. You don't need to write down 12 words to access your wallet. You don't need to enter any confusing strings. You have a crypto wallet embedded in the app for the first time ever. The next wow moment is when you send tokens to someone without having to write down any long string or to enter in a public key, just person to person in a matter of seconds. So while you're downloading the app and while you're signing up, I want to show you how people are using Peppo. Because we launched...
We're here at DevCon 5 with Alex, Oscar, and Jody.
So, this morning I read on Twitter that men in unicorn shirts will cause the apocalypse. Well, you know, I tend to disagree. I think we can work together, and for that you should now join Abby's workshop on human collaboration, and definitely tomorrow at 9:25, the talk by Griff Green on realigning incentives. Promo, promo, promo. Let's save the world. Let's not cause the apocalypse. Yay!
What's up, Ethereum Jesus? I'm looking for some shabu shabu dinner.
Hey everyone, we're in Osaka. Just taking the taxi from Kix Airport.
See you guys soon.
See you at 6 p.m. for the dinner.
Hey everyone, my name is Keeley Graydon. This is my first Peppo. I definitely work in the blockchain and crypto space, but I'm currently working on a startup to help you better connect as you travel the world. And I'm actually here in Seattle attending the Founder Institute to really scale and make that happen. And when I'm not working on Witway, I basically just freelance marketing for a lot of blockchain and crypto projects. Maybe able to see the city. It's so beautiful here. And I'm excited to be part of this community.
So what are you seeing here? What we built is a crypto app for the crypto community. And the purpose here is we wanted to help people with these pain points we heard of how do we help projects stand out, introduce themselves, launch to the community? How do we help people in the community better connect, get above the noise? And then how do we show people the power of crypto within an app to actually make an app better, not worse? Peppo is the first crypto app with an embedded Ethereum wallet in the app that feels no different than any Web 2 app experience. And as I said, it's the first crypto app approved by Apple and Google in the app stores with an embedded crypto wallet and be able to purchase tokens and to cash out. And I want to show you now how all this works. So the first thing you see when you just went through the experience of downloading the app is just how easy it is to onboard to the app. So what we did for the sign up for the app is we have a login with Twitter. So you're watching here is someone just, all they need to do is connect their Twitter in order to use Peppo. We'll be adding other login options such as GitHub, because we have a lot of developers who are using the app, email, phone number, some more anonymous Web3 ways of logging into the app. But to start right now, the simple login is just with Twitter. Then once you log into the app, the next thing you do, all you have to do is enter a 6-digit PIN in order to secure your wallet inside the app. Now, 6 digits you might think isn't safe enough to secure a wallet. Well, it is, because the recovery model that we've built over the last couple of years is a recovery from a smart contract. So the user, all they need to do is remember the username and password and 6 digits in order to recover their wallet if it's ever lost or stolen. Another innovation that we built by listening to users is we wanted to create an app experience that feels no different than Web 2. So we wouldn't want users to have to take out, say, MetaMask or something else or to sign transactions. We wouldn't want to have them wait, say, 30 seconds or a minute for transactions to be confirmed on a blockchain. So we invented something called session keys. And the way the session keys work is when the user enters their 6-digit PIN, we put a private key on their device, so it's a non-custodial wallet. And that private key then interacts with a Gnosis multisig, and then we authorize what we call session keys, which are execution keys that can execute low-value transactions on the user's behalf up to certain limits. So in the case of the Peppo app, any transaction the user does that is under $10 for a 2-week period, they don't need to manually sign the transaction. And that's an innovation you get from listening to the users and trying to build user experiences for humans the way humans are used to interacting. Then we also allow the users to use their biometrics. So you think about your thumbprint, your facial recognition, and what this is used for is if your session expires, rather than having to enter a private key or rather than having to enter a 6-digit PIN, all you need to do is use your biometrics in order to authorize a new session. Or if you want to send someone more than $10 in the app, you can just authorize that using your biometrics. Now, how are tokens, how is crypto used within the app? So we have a number of ways that tokens are used inside the app. When you're inside the app, if you tap on the P button, which is this inverted heart, the Peppo button, it instantly sends a token from one person to the other. And the price of Peppo is about 1 cent And so it's instantly saying that you're transferring more than just likes. You're actually showing someone actual appreciation. It's not tipping. It's actually participating in the content and showing appreciation to the makers and the creators. So the tokens within the app are very seamless. You can send someone a cent at a time by tapping on the P button, the heart, so reinventing the like button. It also is used as part of personalization and curation, so it helps you get a better experience. So we have this other signal of actually not just what videos the user's watching, but also which ones they're actually supporting. It helps curate content for other people. And then we're adding all sorts of other interesting elements over the next few weeks, such as pay-to-messaging. So users will be able to set how many tokens you have to pay in order to message them. So that cuts down on noise, so it helps cut down on spam, as well as using things like bonding curves, which is, I know, a big word, but a way for all the people who are supporting a project and all the people who are supporting a video to all benefit and reap rewards from the popularity of that topic or that video. And as I said, so the transactions themselves are seamless. You don't need to wait for confirmation times. You can instantly send any amount that you want person to person with low-cost, decentralized, peer-to-peer transactions, all of which are on a blockchain and all right now. This is all real product right now, all on a blockchain. And as I said, we built the first dApp that is crypto microtransactions embedded in the app and a full Ethereum Layer 2 wallet embedded in the app. And we did so in a way where it's not just regulatory compliant, not just FinCEN compliant, but also Apple compliant. And I'll tell you, we spent about a year architecting the solution to be FinCEN and regulatory compliant, and it took a good amount of time then talking to Apple as well to make it Apple compliant. But the way we did this, and I can talk to anyone who wants to afterwards, what it ends up with is that the user gets a full end-to-end experience. You can actually buy the tokens in the app using Apple Pay, using Google Pay. You don't have to move crypto in the app. You can basically just take out whatever you've connected to your Apple Pay or Google Pay to top up and get more tokens. And then if you want to cash out, we actually have a couple really interesting things. One is we have a stable coin in the app called Unicorns. So you can transfer your tokens to Unicorns, which creates a stabilization effect. And then you can cash out your Unicorns for gift cards, for vouchers. And soon we're going to be adding NFTs as well. And again, where this comes from is we talk to real people. And we found that we talk to people, for someone earning tokens through a social networking app or content app, up to $200, $300, getting an Amazon gift card, a Grab gift card, a Grab credit is just the same equivalent as cash for most people. And so what we built here is an app that works for real people and works for the regulators and works for the app stores. And yes, all of this is on a blockchain. We developed the first fully embeddable Ethereum Layer 2 wallet SDK that you can embed into any application. It is basically the user, it's a non-custodial wallet. The user owns their own keys. The private keys are on the device. We use the session keys that I mentioned to make the whole experience really smooth. There's options if the user wants to use a QR code to add a second device. And all of this is backed up by Ethereum smart contracts, even enabling the user to recover from a smart contract without ever talking to us or anyone else in order to do it. Best of all of this is open source. If you want to build your own Peppo, just go to dev.ost.com, grab the code, talk to our team if you want. We'll give you help on how to do it. You can build this same functionality into any application. All right, and so, but basically we built over the last few years is the ability to have any mainstream application to have amazing, gorgeous, blazing fast user experiences with crypto, such that crypto makes the app experience better rather than degrading from it. And so I encourage you, take a look at the code, grab it, look at how to integrate it into your app. We have server-side SDKs, so you can turn any in-app action into a token transfer. So let's say any like, any upvote, any 5-star review, anything you can imagine that a user does something in your app or on your website. Let's say you want to reward users for reading all the way to the end of an article, or for getting lots of great comments on their content. Whatever you might dream up, you can do that with our server-side SDKs. And then the Wallet SDK enables you to embed all of this into any application. So we launched this at DevCon 5 about a month ago. And to be honest, we had no idea whether people would take to it. And it's been truly amazing and humbling how awesome people have really reacted to it. We haven't figured it all out by any means, but the results so far have just been nothing short of mind-blowing for us. We have 1,500 beta users as of today, and those beta users have done 45,000 peer-to-peer decentralized transactions in the last 4 weeks. It says 43,000 because that's when I wrote the slide yesterday. Now it's 45,000. It's the fastest growing dApp in the world, and people are using it and they're getting value from it, and most importantly, they're giving us feedback on it. But the key thing that I really want to emphasize to everyone is if you build something by listening to users, by hearing the pain points, by talking to users and figuring out how to make the user experience fast and gorgeous and work the way people want, and then you listen to them to build the next features, you can build apps like this. And that's the reason why Peppo is the fastest growing dApp in the world. And in just a few weeks, is now almost a top 10 dApp. We're about number 12 right now in all dApp activity in the world. So I want to thank you all for listening. I want to encourage you to download the app, try it, touch it, feel it. If you want to build like something like Peppo yourself, it's really easy to use our tools. It's all backed by OST technology. It's a layer 2 blockchain technology that we've been building for 4 years. And I'll leave you by just showing some more use cases of how people are getting pleasure, joy, satisfaction, and building real use cases using Peppo, the world's first crypto app designed for the crypto community with crypto embedded in the app.
Hi guys, DEF CON 5. I'm here with Eric Berry. Eric?
Hello.
Look for the guy with the bunny ears if you want to chat. Advertising?
That's
what else
right.
are we doing?
So I'm with the Gitcoin team, and we also have Gitcoin Ads, also known as CodeFund. We do blockchain advertising, so if you are a advertiser wanting to get in front of a blockchain audience like developers, or if you are wanting to make some money, find the dude with the bunny ears, that's me.
That's him.
All right.
Well, since I'm liking the Peppo app so much, one of the things that I'm going to do is host a fireside chat every Friday based on the developments in terms of the implications of blockchains within IoT systems, because that's what I am really, really passionate about. So, check this. 20 billion devices by 2020, a $1.3 trillion industry, and a bunch of enterprises waiting to jump into this problem space to not only increase their bottom lines, but to also fundamentally disrupt their own business models. Stay tuned for more details.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.